When I read today's gospel, from John's account of the feeding of the 5,000, I find myself identifying with the apostles Philip and Andrew. They are Jesus' exasperated disciples who are moved by the hungry crowd and want to help, but cannot fathom how they will provide food for everyone. Even when they find a young boy with a small amount of bread and fish, they concede that it's just too little. I get their frustration, and perhaps you do too. We wish we could do more to help, but how could we possibly make it happen with so little to go on? The disciples here, and whenever we think like this, are operating out of a mindset of scarcity. We pay attention to what we lack or what we might lose. Are we, like Philip and Andrew, constrained by our need to protect the limited resources we have, like those precious 5 barley loaves and 2 fish? When we operate with a scarcity outlook, we can become obsessed with competition or control rather than an openness to wonder. In this incredible miracle, Jesus teaches us to have an imagination of abundance. We are invited by the Lord to look for creative opportunities to be generous, collaborative, and more trusting with one another. He asks us to share all the blessings we have been given. Now, at the end of the story, we read that there were 12 wicker baskets of food left over after 5,000 people had their fill. Our God is a God of overflowing abundance. And this is our invitation in the Easter season. Rather than being consumed by cynicism about the limitations of ourselves or of this world, we are invited to discover new life through the boundless blessings that God has graced us with that we are asked to freely share. And in the first reading today, we see that the early Christians astounded their contemporary observers since they didn't act like the religious or messianic movements of their time. The followers of other holy men scattered without their leaders. But Christians flourished and grew even after Jesus died, rose, and ascended into the heavens. They didn't live with a scarcity mindset, now without the Lord in his physical presence. Rather, theirs was a booming Eucharistic community rooted in a theology of abundance, joy, and opportunity. And as the disciples' successors in the faith, we are called to be the same and live our lives with an imagination that sees beyond the trials and beholds God's grace in the world around us.